Have you ever stopped and wondered, if I keep living the way I do right now, spending the way I spend, saving the way I save, carrying the debts I carry, what will my net worth really look like in 10 years? In 20? In 30? Will it grow into something powerful? Will it explode into a fortune? Or will it barely change at all? Because the truth is, your financial future can already be predicted, and it is not magic, it is math. And it is written in the secret compounding statistics that govern your money. People think wealth is unpredictable. They think it depends on luck, on the right job, on the right year in the market. But the real story is much simpler, and in some ways much scarier, because it means your future is not a question of chance, but a question of whether you understand these compounding forces, or whether you ignore them. Because once you see how they work, you can almost draw a line straight into your future net worth. But to be extremely precise, you have to know all the stats, otherwise it doesn't make sense. So I've this video a like, and let's start. The first statistic is time, and time is brutal, because it either works for you or it works against you. And most people only discover this too late, when the years they thought didn't matter suddenly show up as lost millions. Imagine two people, both saving $100 a month. One starts at age 20, the other waits until age 30. Both invest for retirement, both get the same 7% annual growth. The first ends with over 200,000, the second ends with just over 100,000. Same effort, same investment. But 10 years of time lost cut the final result in half, and the difference is not discipline, it is not luck, it is simply when they began. This is why time is the most underestimated stat in all of money, because people think a year here or there doesn't matter, but every year in compounding is not equal. The early years are the most valuable, they are the foundation, they are the years when every dollar grows into 10, into 20, into 30. And when you throw them away, you are not just losing time, you are losing exponential growth that can never be recovered. Ask anyone in their 40s or 50s who wishes they had started earlier, and they will tell you the same painful truth. The math does not forgive delay. And the irony is that time itself costs nothing. It does not require extra effort. It simply requires you to start. But because the results in the beginning are so small, most people quit. They see $10 become $10.70 and they laugh. They see 1,000 become 1,070 and they shrug. They don't realize that those boring 70 cents are the very building blocks of the 100,000 they dream of. This is the trap, the camouflage of compounding. It hides its power at the beginning and only shows its true strength when decades have passed. The second statistic is contributions, how much you actually put aside each month. And this is where most people lie to themselves. They say they cannot afford to save, but when you look closely, the money is leaking every day. It is hidden in the small, the forgettable, the $10 here, the 20 there. And this is where the latte factor comes in. In the year 2000, it meant skipping a daily coffee. But in 2025, it has grown into something much bigger. Because today, you are not just paying for coffee. You are paying for 3 streaming services you barely use, delivery apps that add $5 every time, online shopping that drops packages on your porch you don't even remember ordering. These are the new lattes, and they are the difference between an average net worth and an extraordinary one. Let's put it in numbers so it becomes painfully clear. $10 a day, wasted is $300 a month, $3,600 a year. Invest that instead at 8% annual return. In 30 years, it becomes more than $450,000. That is nearly $500,000, built out of nothing but leaks you barely notice. If you are 20 years old, that $500,000 could be over $1 million by retirement. If you are 30 years old, it could still be hundreds of thousands. And if you are 40, even then it is life-changing. Which means that every day, with every swipe of your card, you are either predicting yourself into wealth or predicting yourself into mediocrity. And this is why contributions matter more than most people admit, because time multiplies what you put in. But if you put in nothing, time multiplies nothing. And people who complain that they don't have enough to invest forget that it is not about how much they make. It is about how much they keep. I've seen people earning $50,000 a year, end up richer than people earning $200,000, not because they had better jobs, but because they respected contributions and they respected compounding, while the high earners let their money leak into lifestyle. And remember that to increase your contributions, you can open your faceless YouTube channel, because YouTube is one easy mode now and can bring huge results if done well, like I will teach you in my free Telegram community with the link below. But then comes the third statistic, and this is the dark one, the one that works against you with the same force it works for you. Debt, especially credit card debt and high interest loans. This is where compounding becomes your enemy. This is where the snowball rolls downhill and crushes you. Imagine you owe $5,000 on a credit card at 20% interest and you only pay the minimum. Do you know how long it will take to pay off? Decades. And do you know how much you will end up paying? Often 2 or 3 times the original amount. That is compounding too, except this time it is working for the bank, not for you. And here is the scary part. The same person who complains they cannot save $100 a month is often paying $200 a month in interest to a credit card company. They are literally feeding compounding against themselves. They are building someone else's fortune instead of their own. Because debt flips the math. It takes the exponential curve that could have been wealth and turns it into a trap. And once you are inside, it is brutally hard to escape, because every month you wait, the balance grows again, and the compounding prediction of your net worth slides further downwards. This is why the wealthy and the financially free live by one simple rule. Avoid bad debt at all costs, because they know it is impossible to build wealth while compounding works against you. It is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole at the bottom. No matter how much water you pour in, it drains out, and unless you fix the hole, you will always stay empty. This is why if you are serious about predicting your net worth upwards, you must first eliminate the compounding forces dragging you downward. So when you step back, you see it clearly. Your future net worth is already being written. By these 3 statistics, time, contributions, and debt, if you start early, even with small amounts, the numbers predict you will end wealthy. If you start late and save little, the numbers predict you will struggle. If you carry debt for years, the numbers predict you will never escape. If you open a YouTube channel, you can pay off your debt and increase contribution. It is not about luck. It is not about guessing. It is about whether you let compounding work for you or against you. And that single choice makes all the difference. And here is where everything comes together, because once you understand the rules of time, contributions, and debt, you reach the point where the predictions become crystal clear. Not guesses, not vague hopes, but hard numbers that map your financial future with almost frightening accuracy. Numbers that tell you if you save this much each month for this many years, here is the net worth. You will one day see staring back at you. Automation makes this easier, yes, because it forces you to keep the habit. And reinvestment makes it stronger, because it multiplies the returns. But the most powerful moment is when you finally see the table, when you see the compounding in action, when you realize that a simple monthly choice is not just a choice for today, it is a choice that rewrites the rest of your life. Let's start small. $200 a month. That's less than most people spend on small conveniences. It's 4 or 5 coffees a week. It's a few delivery meals. It's a subscription bundle. Not impressive in the moment, but at 7% annual growth sustained over 40 years, $200 a month turns into nearly $500,000, $500,000 from nothing but $200 a month. And if you start at age 25, by 65, you will have more than enough to secure a retirement. That is the quiet power of compounding. Now double it, $400 a month, which is still less than what many households waste on untracked spending. 400 at the same growth over 40 years becomes more than $1 million. Cross the 7-figure line without ever feeling like you did anything extreme. And this is where the prediction gets scary. Because if you save nothing, your future net worth is almost guaranteed to be near zero. But if you save 400, the math all but guarantees you will be a millionaire. The line has already been drawn. Let's raise it again. $800 a month, the equivalent of a modest car payment. At 7% growth over 40 years, this explodes into more than $2 million. A fortune built not through genius investments, not through risky bets, but through simple consistency. And once you see these numbers side by side, it becomes impossible to deny. Your future wealth is being written every single month by how much you contribute and how long you let compounding run. And here's the part that most people never see, because they focus only on the monthly savings amount. But the starting age is just as important. If you begin at age 25, saving $400 a month, you cross 1 million by 65. But if you delay until age 35, saving the same 400, you only reach about 500,000. Exactly half, because the 10 years you lost were not just 10 years. They were the 10 years that would have grown into the largest chunk of your wealth. And this is why time is the hidden multiplier, the silent predictor. Let's stretch this out further. Imagine you are 20 years old and you decide to save $200 a month until you are 60. 40 years of consistency. The math says you will end with almost $500,000. Now imagine instead you save nothing until you are 40 and then decide to save $400 a month for 20 years. Double the contribution. But half the time, and you end with less than $200,000. Despite saving twice as much each month, you end with less because time has already decided your future net worth. It is unforgiving that way. And what about those who can only save smaller amounts? Let's say just $100 a month. Even that at 7% grows into nearly $250,000 over 40 years, which means even small contributions predict a life-changing outcome. The prediction is not millionaire status, but it is certainly security. It is certainly freedom from fear, and it is certainly far better than zero, which is what most people end with, not because they could not save, but because they never respected the math. This is why when you put the numbers on a chart, it almost looks like prophecy, because the difference between 100, 200, 400 and 800 is not just linear, it is exponential. The numbers bend upward, they explode, and they show you exactly how today's tiny choices become tomorrow's wealth. This is the real secret of compounding, not the idea that money grows, but the fact that it grows predictably, and if you don't change your behaviour, your destiny is already decided. Let's test a few real-life scenarios. If you are 30 years old today and you decide to save $300 a month, by age 65, you will likely see around $500,000. If you are 30 and can save $600, you will likely end with more than $1 million. If you are 30 and can only save $100, you will still end with more than $160,000, which might not sound huge, but it is the difference between retirement with nothing and retirement with options. And again, it is predictable. You can already see where your path leads. Now imagine someone at 40 years old, saving $500 a month for 25 years. At 7% growth that becomes over $400,000 by age 65. Respectable. But compare it to the 25-year-old saving only $200 a month for 40 years, that person ends with nearly $500,000, despite contributing less each month, because once again, time wins, it always wins, and it always decides the final number. And if you want to see the brutal reality of delay, imagine waiting until 50 years old, then saving $1,000 a month for 15 years. The growth is only around $300,000 by age 65, which is less than the 20-year-old who started with $200 a month. So despite saving 5 times more every month, you still end worse off. That is the cruel truth of compounding. If you miss the early years, you cannot buy them back. So when you hear people say wealth is luck, understand this, it is not luck, it is arithmetic. It is compounding, and it is already predicting your future. If you save nothing, the prediction is poverty. If you save small amounts late, the prediction is struggle. If you save modest amounts early, the prediction is comfort. If you save consistently and significantly, the prediction is wealth. And if you combine early saving with high contributions, the prediction is explosive, multi-millionaire wealth. And it is all written in the numbers. Debt, of course, can still pull the prediction down, because paying 20% on credit card balances while earning 7% on investments will cancel out your progress, which is why eliminating debt must come first. But once the debt is gone, the compounding machine is free to run at full speed and the predictions will hold true. And this is the part where most people feel both panic and excitement. Panic because they realise the path they are currently on is already written. Excitement because they realise they can change the path by changing the inputs. Start earlier, contribute more, avoid debt, automate the system, and the chart bends upward instantly. The future net worth prediction changes in real time, and you are no longer a victim of chance. You are the author of your own outcome. So ask yourself right now, if you are saving nothing, if you are carrying debt, if you are delaying the start, do you like the prediction that math is making for your net worth? If not, then you know what you must do, because compounding does not lie, it does not exaggerate, it does not guess, it simply multiplies what you give it. And in the end, it delivers exactly what you asked for, nothing more and nothing less. And you can give a lot if you open a YouTube channel now. I want you to think about that. If you've done this far in the video, it means the strategies that I will teach you in my free Telegram community works, right? So join now. The truth is the secret compounding stats are not hidden at all. They are right in front of you, but most people ignore them. They laugh at small numbers. They waste years. They carry debt. They hope things will somehow turn out better, but the math has already spoken. And unless they act, the prediction will come true. So the only real mystery is not what will happen, but whether you will choose to change the numbers before it is too late. And choose also to like and subscribe so you can help me to grow and let me know what you discover about your future net worth thanks to this video. And I'll see you soon in my free Telegram community. I'll wait for you. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for educational purposes only, and any results depend on your own decisions and actions.